This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. The holidays are over, the decorations are down, and suddenly everything feels a little empty. It's normal to feel the winter blues after the holiday excitement. January, February, and March are by far my least favorite months of the year. It's cold and dark, and I have to get some extra vitamin D on board. I also need to keep my regular scheduled appointments with my therapist. So if you're feeling that post-holiday funk, I definitely suggest you checking out BetterHelp because maybe it's time to talk. You might also be one of those people like me who makes New Year's resolutions and you get super motivated. So maybe you need someone behind you to hold you accountable and come up with a plan to meet your goals. BetterHelp is super convenient, totally online. You have a therapist right at your fingertips whenever you need them. So head over to betterhelp.com/wifeofcrime1 to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/wifeofcrime1 for 10% off your first month.
More Chumba Casino fan mail. Love this. It says, Dear Ryan, I love Chumba Casino. They're so much fun. I love the wild ride from the social slots to the slingo to jackpots quicker than a 6-time real spin. Everybody's finding their fun at Chumba Casino. Why don't you find out for yourself? Head to ChumbaCasino.com and enjoy hundreds of casino-style games for free with your welcome bonus. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply.
This podcast is an unscripted, unedited conversation about true crime. We take the cases very seriously, but I don't take myself seriously at all, and neither should you. Welcome to Wife of Crime.
So, Russ, we do survivor stories on this podcast about every 10 or so episodes. But there's one type of survivor story you've been wanting to hear, and I found it for you. Crazy cases like this just make me in awe of what humans can endure. This is the case of the survival of Susan Walters. Welcome back to Wife of Crime, a true crime podcast where I tell my husband Russ all my favorite true crime stories and he reacts to them.
What's up, folks?
My name's Jess, and we're back for another week.
My name is the husband.
You don't go by the husband.
Well, you just said I tell my husband. You didn't say I tell Russ.
No, I said I tell my husband Russ.
Oh, I wasn't listening again.
Yeah, you don't listen. So yeah, welcome back for another week. We posted an update on our Instagram because I found out this week that with regards to the Kendrick Johnson case, they released a statement that the recording that the family received was actually a fake. So if you guys aren't familiar with the case, definitely go back to our episode titled #Justice for KJ, the mysterious death of Kendrick Johnson. It's an insane case. It's something that has intrigued me for years. And the family has been fighting hard for answers. They got a recording with a supposed confession that turned out to be fake.
Well, just a quick overview of what it was.
Mm-hmm.
It was a young black dude in a school, and they found him wrapped in like a mat that you use in gym class for padding. They found him dead upside down, and no one knows what happened. So if you don't know, go check the case. This is one of the few cases that actually stuck with me because a lot of times after the case is done, I don't remember what happened, and you could tell me again, and it would be brand new to me. But this one I remember because this one pissed me off.
Yeah, it pissed both of us off. And so when we heard that this recording came out, everyone who follows this case closely was excited for the family that they're going to get answers and get justice. And then it turns out some dude faked the whole thing. Like, who does that? You know?
Dickheads.
I know. It's crazy. So anyway, I posted it on Instagram. If you guys aren't following us on Instagram, definitely go over and follow us because that's probably where we're the most active as far as social media. Like we have other social medias, but Instagram is definitely our most active spot.
Yeah, that's true because there's like 3 age groups.
Yeah.
So older people, Facebook, middle-aged people-ish, Instagram, and then like junior high annoying trying to go with every trend is TikTok. And so we're kind of in the middle, you know, like Facebook, Instagram is like where like you think you're still young, but you're just lingering there kind of old and shit. And that's where I'm at.
That's true. Well, we have a lot of fun on Instagram because we post a lot of memes and I'm actually funny. I know Russ doesn't think I'm funny, but I'm actually funny and I post really funny memes. So go check it out. And
so I have a confession.
What?
So I committed a crime this week.
Really?
Yeah. And I guess this is what you consider dry snitching, where you're kind of like telling on yourself. So at work, I work a lot, right? And I'm a gamer and I like playing video games. Mm-hmm. So I decided to myself, I'm like, man, I haven't been playing no video games. I'm working like 75 hours a week. Yeah. And I was like, I had a genius revelation. I was like, your boy could buy a Nintendo Switch. So I was like, I got this. They can't hold me down. Mm-hmm. So I went to Target to buy a Nintendo Switch. I was walking to the back to go get it, and I saw a T-shirt, and it had like Britney Spears on it, and it looked a little retro. And I was like, oh, Jess would like that. So I threw it on my shoulder. I walked to the back. I got my Nintendo Switch, and I paid for it back there in the back because, you know, you get skipped the lines when you buy electronics.
In the electronics section.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I walk outside, and I'm getting in my car, and I go to bend down, and the T-shirt is still on my shoulder. It like popped me in the face because I bent down. And I stole the T-shirt.
Oh, you stole my T-shirt that you got me?
Yeah, but you know what? Because he didn't check out. I forgot that I had it there. Like, I pay for everything. Some one of them guilty-looking dudes. If I knew I stole it, I would have been walking. I would have walked past the guards. I'd been looking left and right. I probably would have crouched a little too. I don't know why, but I probably would have crouched. But after I got away with it, I felt so good.
You did?
I was like, take that, corporate America.
That's so funny. So you actually enjoyed committing the crime.
Yeah, but the story is for entertainment purposes only. It may or may not be true in case the target corporate world is listening.
Okay. Did you get like a little high from it? Like, ooh.
Bro, I was about to go back in there and put another on my shoulder. It was about to be on. And I went to Target today to look for SD card for my Switch. I was like, you know, if I put something on my shoulder, I might could just walk out with this motherfucker. But I didn't do
You're
it.
like a little closet kleptomaniac.
Yeah, but I got $10 for a T-shirt, so I wouldn't steal for $10.
I know. Well, he got me this Britney Spears T-shirt because Britney's father decided to step down from the conservatorship, so the Free Britney movement won. So congratulations to her. That's so great. All right, so Russ, you have the patron shout-outs to do. We have some patrons.
So I have patron shout-outs, but I also wanted to say happy birthday to Kate. She's a longtime listener and a patron member.
Yes, happy birthday.
And our new patrons this week are Megan and Bianca. Thank you very much. And cheers with my low-carb White Claw. Trying to bring my abs back.
We are. We're on low-carb vibes lately. So we're drinking the Trulies and White Claws instead of beer. If you haven't already, definitely go check out Patreon. We have so much fun stuff going on there. We're doing True Crime and Chill episodes every month. We have like 8 of them. I posted some episodes that were deleted off the main feed. I fixed the sound and posted them on there. And we have a Q&A. And we're coming out with a couple Blabber Time episodes. So like, go check it out. If you haven't yet, there's like 12 bonus episodes to binge. All right. So I think that's all of our... times. We have a Jess Messed Up session.
Welcome back.
Bum, bum, bum. Okay. So last week, I said that the Snowtown murders was the first crime that we've done outside of America.
I knew you were wrong.
That was wrong.
But, like, sometimes you just let people live. I usually don't.
We actually did 2 episodes outside of America previous to the Snowtown murders. The first one was the survival of Allison Botha.
Well, that was when they cut her head off.
They didn't cut her head off. Don't say it because people are listening that don't know the story.
I'll go back and listen, folks.
She survived a horrendous crime in South Africa. And then the second one was Jack the Ripper from England. And then the third one outside of America was Snowtown murders. So, just messed up, but I fixed it.
So, I have my review of the week this week. I'm like on a hidden streak right now. I feel like Joe DiMaggio with the 56-game hit streak. I've done these reviews of the week consecutively now for I don't know how many weeks. Someone might could go back and let me know. So this week is from Tiffany G83. I'm guessing that's the year she was born. Mm-hmm. Shout out to you. So it's 5 stars. The description is hooked. Monday was my first time listening, and I was hooked. End ordering a tank. Stay fit, stay alive. I love it. You guys are great! ! So shout out to you, Tiffany. Appreciate the 5 stars. There was other good reviews too, but I don't really like reading out loud, so you know how it goes. I find a nice short one. And if you guys want, go check out the merch. Get that Stay Fit, Stay Alive t-shirt. So this way these killers know they don't want that smoke. They're like, oh, they're fit. They're trying to stay alive. Just let them keep running over there with their headphones on because they might have a knife in their pocket.
Yeah, the tank for girls is really comfy. I have one.
Yeah, I wear my Stay Fit, Stay Alive shirt all the time.
You do, yeah, you do. Okay, so that's enough of all of our stuff. Now I'm ready to tell you this story. I've been so excited to tell you this story for the last week. Since I've been researching it, I've been pumped. So last week, we talked about the Snowtown murders, and it was a pretty tragic, dark story, and it kind of got me down. And I decided, you know what? I need another survivor story in my life. So I really wanted to research a really good survivor story. So the story I have for you today is amazing. It's the survival of Susan Walters.
Hashtag not me, not today.
Yes.
Those are my favorite.
Mine too. So throughout our time making this podcast, we've covered some like really dark, disturbing cases, but we've also covered incredibly inspiring and amazing survival stories. And I'm truly in awe sometimes about what the human body and the mind can endure and survive. From the beginning, we've been saying 2 phrases when it comes to survival stories. 2 phrases that you made up, actually.
There's a lot of weird stuff going on in my head, but let's see. I don't probably stay fit, stay alive, and not me, not today.
Yes, those 2 are the phrases we say all the time.
And they're not weird.
And
Shout out to me.
They're not weird, and they've really caught on. We get people hashtagging it to us all the time, which is so cool. People, when they work out or go running, they'll tag us in posts and they'll put hashtag stay fit, stay alive.
Because no one wants this smoke. And we even thought about doing a spinoff. I never told anyone till today, a Not Me, Not Today spinoff.
Yeah, we have thought about it. But you, in your life, you totally and authentically live these 2 sayings. And it's inspiring for me to see. And I appreciate it so much about you.
That's why your boy runs and does his push-ups. Not me, not today, boy. And I got a little knife in my pocket that my sister bought me for my birthday.
You do. And, you aren't an Olympic athlete, but you do
put some respect on my name.
No, listen, I'm saying very nice things. Listen.
I can go to the Olympics if I want.
You're not an Olympic athlete. Like, you're not working out because you're just like this crazy fitness psychopath. But you do about 30 minutes of fitness related things every single day just to take care of yourself. And you don't do it for looks. You do it because you love yourself. And that energy of self-love that you have is very contagious. I'm around it all the time, and it's honestly contagious and it's inspiring. And I also know for a fact that if you were in a life-threatening situation, you would fight until the bitter end to live. Not me, not today energy, no matter what. That's what you have.
Yeah,
and
I'm not going out like that.
It's an incredibly contagious energy to be around. So today, I'm giving you a story of a woman's fight for survival. Susan had this same energy that you have inside of you. She was truly an OG, original gangster. Susan's story has had me pumped and inspired all week, and I hope this story inspires you and our listeners to never give up, no matter what situation you're faced with. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. In 1988, 33-year-old Susan Walters had a really tough time finding love. She had tons of friends, and she had a career that she loved. She was an emergency room nurse in Oregon, just like your girl. The only thing missing was a man to share her life with. So Susan reluctantly agreed to allow her mom and sister to put a personal ad out in a local newspaper.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Well, they used to do that back then. Remember that one song about the two people who put the personal ads out and they ended up being husband and wife?
And like BBW Wanted or something?
No, Russ. It was...
Shout out to the BBWs.
They didn't have the internet. They didn't have, dating apps and stuff. So people put personal ads out in papers.
You know, it's funny. I used to read them because I used to think they were hilarious.
Well, Susan's mom and sister...
And I didn't know what a BBW was for so long. Yo, shout out to the W's.
So, anyway, she reluctantly agreed to let her mom and sister put this personal ad out. And after a few months, to Susan's surprise, she got a response. The relationship between Susan and Mike, this guy's name was Mike, it started off slow. They started just talking on the phone. And this went on for a few months. So Susan really started to like Mike after a little while because he was funny, he was adventurous, he had a lot of energy and ambition. It's exactly what she was looking for. And after about 100 hours of talking on the phone, Susan finally agreed to go on a date with Mike.
How did she know it was 100 hours unless she had a cell phone?
No, she probably just guessed, Russ, over like a few months. We talked about 3 hours a day, boom, boom, boom.
Unless she was crazy with a stopwatch. Every time he called, she would click it, and then she added up. After 100 hours, he gets a shot. Playing hard to get when you put newspaper ads out.
Well, her mom and sister did it. Anyway, so she finally agreed to go on a date, and they really fell in love. And then by 1989, the following year, they ran off to Reno and got married. So over the next few years, though, it became apparent to Susan that Mike wasn't totally truthful about the person he described himself to be in the first year of their relationship. Mike suffered from anxiety and depression, and he would frequently get so depressed that he would not leave the house for days. He would frequently lose jobs because he would just lay in bed for days on end. He was not adventurous. He never wanted to go anywhere. She wanted to travel and enjoy life. He never wanted to leave the house.
Because he wouldn't get out of bed to go to work, so he couldn't travel nowhere, you bum.
Yeah, exactly. So Mike also refused to get help, and he refused to get put on medication. And over the next 10 years, it was a roller coaster.
Oh, they stayed together? I was about to say, it's time to put out a new ad. Get rid of this schlub.
She stayed with him because she loved him, and she was trying to be supportive for a while. But over the next 10 years, it was like a roller coaster of depression and drinking, and he would self-medicate with alcohol, and then he would come home trashed, and he would insult her and beat her, and he became really abusive.
Oh, screw this newspaper schlub.
Exactly. So Susan continued working in the ER, and she absolutely loved her job, and she loved working in the ER. But the ER, as you know, it's exhausting work. So
I don't
she
know.
Well, you know from me being an ER nurse, it's exhausting work. She would come home every day exhausted and then have to deal with all this baggage from her husband and deal with him being drunk sometimes and beating her up and, just being a piece of shit to her.
Yeah, that's whack. You can't be beating women up.
So after trying to make it work for 17 years, Susan asked for a separation.
This week's episode is sponsored by BarkBox. I got good news. So BarkBox is a monthly subscription for your dog where they send them treats and toys. And I hit them up and I said, yo, my listeners like free stuff, so what's up? And they said, oh, good news, Russ. We love your show. So we'll give you and your listeners 1 month free if you sign up for our subscription service. And I said, cool. I said, how do they take care of that? And they said, oh, so just go to barkbox.com/wifeofcrime, or they can click the link in the show notes. And this way we know they're your homies and we'll give them a free month. Oh yeah, they do themed ones, and you could do ones for big dogs, those super chewers, or you could even get them for those little poodles with the pink hair that you keep in your purse. So don't forget, go to barkbox.com/wifeofcrime to let them know I sent you and get your free month.
You guys already know because we have been talking about them for a while now. Via Hemp is by far one of our favorite sponsors we've ever had, okay? We use their products all the time. Maybe you're a little like me. You're a little anxious. You have a hard time settling down. You're kind of wound up a lot. If that's you, Via Hemp products are for you. Check out their website. You will find something that speaks to you. Maybe you're like Russ. You have a hard time sleeping because you have bad nerve pain or chronic pain. Then Via Hemp is for you because their gummies will help you get some quality sleep. Maybe you're looking to have a really good time. Maybe you just really like edibles. You want to laugh. You want to get the munchies. You want to watch a movie and have a really strong belly laugh. Then Via Hemp products are for you, okay? They're literally for everybody. So head over to viahemp.com, promo code wifeofcrime1 to get 15% off your first order. That's VIIAHEMP.com, wifeofcrime1 for 15% off your first order. Mike had been working as a janitor for an adult video store for the last few years.
Ew. You know what he's cleaning up?
I don't know, man.
Oh, sticky floors.
Okay.
In the quarter machine room.
Okay.
Ew. So he's a newspaper schlub who cleans up jizz.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, shout out to those dudes. Those are the jobs no one wants. I mean,
well, he couldn't even do that well because he was recently fired. Okay. So he ended up moving back in with his father, and Susan stayed in their house that they were living in together. Mike would still come by and visit. So the two of them never had children, but they did have cats together. They had a couple cats. So he would come by, visit, and see the cats. And him and Susan, they had like a cordial relationship, even though they were separated. They were still married for 17 years. They were still friends with each other. So she tried to be nice, and she tried to keep it cordial with him.
Yo, never be nice. Nice will get you in trouble. Be mean. Or standoffish.
Mike's job, like I said, he ended up getting fired from that job because his drinking was totally out of control. And then he was unemployed and broke and living with his father.
So when you hire a jizz cleaner-upperer, do you think that they're a sober person? Anybody who's going to take that job is going to be drunk or high as hell.
I don't know, man.
He had to call the jizz cleaner-upperer union.
Okay, Russ, stop. So Susan is now 51 years old, okay? She's been an ER nurse for about 30 years.
Damn.
In the ER, we call these lifers original gangsters because to work in such a crazy high-stress environment for that long means that you are a real tough cookie. On the evening of September 6th, 2006, Susan just finished a crazy shift at Providence Portland Medical Center. And she was heading home from work. But before she went home, she decided to stop and get her hair cut. So she went to her hair salon. And as she's sitting there, she's just flipping through magazines while she's waiting. And she picks up Oprah magazine. And when she opens up the magazine, she came across the poem. And the beginning of the poem said, "I will not live an unlived life. I will not live in fear. This quote resonated with her. She knew after 17 years of trying to stay in this toxic relationship, it was time to finally let it go. And she planned to talk to Mike about going forward with a divorce.
Oh, they're not divorced.
No, they're separated.
In my mind, that's the same thing.
It's not. Like when you officially file, you're just living in separate places, but when you officially file for a divorce, that's a divorce. Like, you're done. You're financially away from each other. You're away completely.
But the same way, like, marriage is a piece of paper, and I thought separation is, that means you're basically divorced, just a piece of paper still holding you. Because to me, marriage is just a contract between you and the government so they could get in your business, because love doesn't have anything to do with a piece of paper.
Absolutely, except that when you're not divorced, you're financially tied to one another.
Damn, so she was sharing money with the cleaner of the place.
Yeah, exactly.
That wasn't a good job.
Well, she decided, it's time to move forward with this divorce. And about an hour later, Susan left the hair salon and she pulled up to her house. She walked into the mud room. And there was a note there, and it said, Sue, haven't been sleeping, had to get away, went to the beach, love me. Which this note is from Mike, her husband.
But wait, I thought they didn't live together.
No, but he was always at the house. Like I said, they were still cordial. He would come visit the cats. He had keys to the house, so he was like half living away, half staying there sometimes. So Susan unlocks the door to the kitchen, and her security alarm started beeping. She disarmed it. She walked through the house and then casually flips through her mail that, she went and got the mail, flipped through it. She kicked off her shoes and headed to the bedroom to change. As she walked toward the bedroom, she started getting a weird feeling. She didn't remember leaving her curtains closed. She normally leaves them open because lately she's been staying in the house alone all the time. So she leaves the curtains open so that there's some light from the outside coming in and her house isn't so dark when she's walking through it. But tonight, her bedroom was pitch black. As she walked into the bedroom, suddenly a man came out from behind the door. The man was 5'9" and about 190 pounds with long gray hair. She had never seen him before. He was wearing rubber gloves and he had a hammer in his hand. Suddenly, he swung and started beating Susan in the face with the hammer.
Oh, fuck.
He didn't knock her out. She knew that if she ducked or tried to run away, he would be able to keep swinging and hit her harder. So in that moment, she decided to become the aggressor.
That's what I'm talking about.
He wouldn't have a chance to swing his arm hard enough.
Smother the punch like a boxer.
So she came at him instead of running away.
That's like when you're boxing and you smother the punch. You stay out of their power range.
Exactly. It was during this time that the man spoke the only words that she would ever hear him say. "You're strong," he said. In that moment, Susan knew this wasn't a robbery. This man was here to kill her. So her adrenaline went into overdrive.
Now, when he says that, in my head, that would give me ammunition. Like, that's right. He knows the smoke is coming.
So she kicked and punched, and eventually she wrestled him to the ground. She pried the hammer from his hands, and she began hitting him in the head with the claw side of the hammer. And she started screaming, "Who sent you? Who sent you?"
Take that, bitch.
She threw the hammer and wrapped her hands around his neck and squeezed as hard as she could. His face turned purple and then blue. She then let go, jumped up, and started running for the front door to get out of the house. But the man got up quick and tackled her.
Damn, I thought she was going to finish him.
No, throwing her against the wall, and he started punching her in the face. In this moment, Susan began to realize she may die. So she decided to bite him as hard as she could, hoping that if she leaves teeth marks in him and she dies, that they can link her teeth marks to him and he could be linked to her death.
Wow, so I have 2 tips here. Mm-hmm. One, go to the dentist so they can have your dentist records. I haven't been to the dentist in a long time. Mm-hmm. My tooth is shifted. It's different since the last time I've been there. And the other one is, if you ever have an opportunity to finish someone that's in your house and you got them down, finish them. if she would have just kept banging him with the hammer and choked him out, this would have been all over. I don't know where it's going, but she was doing a good job. But
she's a fighter.
She probably has like a good heart where she couldn't kill someone. But if you're in my house, my heart turns black and cold as ice.
Well, she decided, I don't even know how she had the forethought. It's because
What's a forethought? It's like a head?
No, how she thought in that moment, okay, I'm about to die. What can I do? I can bite him. Because if, like, she's thinking through this. And she's saying, I can bite him and this will leave my teeth marks in him. Okay?
That's crazy. I would have just been thinking, like, I got to get a knife or something.
Exactly. So in that moment of biting as hard as she could, the man screamed in pain. And then for that split second, he stopped punching her because it hurt him, the biting she was doing. And she tackled him again. She got him on the floor. She continued biting him. In the flank, they were wrestling around. She was biting. She even bit him in his genitals.
Don't let go. Bite that joint off.
She also, while wrestling on the ground, was searching his pockets. She also had the thought to search his pockets and throw whatever was in his pockets all over the room, hoping that if there was something in there that could identify him, she could throw it and he wouldn't realize it and he would just run away. But if she's dead, the cops would find it.
So what was probably happening in that time, sometimes in crazy moments in life, things happen in slow motion. I don't know if you've ever experienced it. So I've gotten in car accidents.
Mm-hmm.
I got in a car accident where I was spinning out and I was about to hit a guardrail.
Mm-hmm.
And I did hit the guardrail and I cracked my head open. But in that whole time, it was basically slow motion.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking, basically what I was thinking is so embarrassing that I'm crashing my car. That's all that was going to, this is going to be so embarrassing when people find out. And like when I played sports, there were certain moments that like, it seemed like time would just slow down. It's so weird. So that's probably what's happening to her. If she thinks back, I guarantee all this is in slow motion.
So what
Your brain is nuts.
What she says later is that she had this ability because of her being in, she really says she attributes it to her being an ER nurse for so many years and in high stress situations having to calculate and think critically through these high stress situations that she deals with at work. So she attributed it to her job.
ER nurses have stress? I thought it was like an easy job where they just like give you pizza and you make TikToks.
I hate you. Shut up. You're so annoying. So anyway, let me finish. Let me finish.
All right, I'm definitely getting another 1-star review for making fun of nurses, but nurses are dope.
We are dope. So she's wrestling him on the ground. She's biting him. She's taking stuff out of his pockets and throwing it around the room, trying to make sure she leaves evidence if she ends up dying.
I wonder what he had in his pockets.
As they wrestled, she eventually got an opportunity to climb on top of him. Then she swung around and got behind him and got him into a chokehold.
Bro, she's like an MMA fighter in UFC. She's knowing how to mount and get
She
like.
did.
Did she take jujitsu?
No, she did not.
How, Sway? She must.
He tried to flip her over his shoulder and she wasn't having it. She used all the strength she had to hold that chokehold around his neck. And eventually, the man stopped moving.
She must have worked out.
No, she didn't.
Well, she was just born strong.
Susan got up, grabbed the hammer, ran out of the house.
Finish him.
Ran next door to the neighbor, and the neighbors called police. Her neighbor called 911, and the operator asked if she needed an ambulance. The neighbor said no. Susan said to the neighbor, "No, I'm fine. I'm a nurse, but send one for him because I think he's dead." When police and EMS arrived, they found the body of Edward Haffey.
I'm hype.
As well as rubber gloves, a book bag containing diabetes pills, and a planner.
Like Scott Malcolm from South Park.
Oh, yeah. In the planner, there was an entry a week prior that said, "Call Mike." Haffey.
Wait, is Mike her husband?
Yes.
Piece of shit.
Haffey and Mike worked together at the porn store. At the hospital, Susan learned that the man was DOA. He was dead on arrival.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And that police suspected her husband of hiring the man to kill her. 1 week after the attack, police located Mike hiding out in Sunnyside, Oregon. And the following day, Susan filed for a divorce. After a thorough investigation, police discovered Mike had hired Haffey to kill his wife for $50,000. He did this because he wanted to collect her life insurance as well as sell the home they owned, because Susan paid the house off a year before, and the house was worth over $350,000.
What he picked the worst hitman of all time. What did he pay him in 5 porno DVDs from the store?
$50,000.
Why didn't I remember that?
I just said it.
Where'd he get $50,000? That job doesn't pay $50,000.
No, but he has the house. He
didn't pay him yet.
No, he was gonna pay.
He gave him a deposit of 5 pornos and 2 blow-up dolls that he got on discount from the jizz mopping store.
So on August 30th, 2007, about a year later, Mike went on trial and pleaded guilty to soliciting a murder for hire plot. He was sentenced to only 7 years in prison.
She should have went and smoked him too. To guarantee she was doing her push-ups, she would have went in there with her headband on and finished him.
Well, Susan spoke to him in court. This is what she said. I am damaged. I am damaged by what you've done to me, but I'm not destroyed. You sought out people with criminal records, people with substance abuse issues, desperate enough to do desperate things for money, she said. Who better to do what you are too coward to do yourself? You're disgusting and a wimp. If I wanted you dead, you better believe I'd have the balls to do it myself.
Ah, that's right.
That was her statement in court.
Punk ass bitch. And that's how I would have ended it with you punk ass bitch.
So in the years...
And she should have said, when you get out, I'm going to beat your ass.
Well, unfortunately, she was very traumatized by this.
Yeah, but she's
a tough cookie, and, she's angry, but she's also traumatized. So in the years after the attack, Susan became incredibly paranoid. She suffered a lot of PTSD. She moved to a new home, and she put gravel all around the house instead of a yard because she wanted to be able to hear people approaching her house.
Yo, that's a good idea.
Smart, right? She also bought a gun and got a firearm license and took firearm classes.
Hell yeah.
She was under the impression, because he only was sentenced to 7 years, and she was growing increasingly more afraid for when he got out of prison. But just 90 days before his release, Mike Kuhnhausen died of pancreatic cancer. Susan's nightmare was finally over.
He's lucky because Susan was going to get him and torture him and whoop his ass.
I don't think so. So, after she killed this guy...
In my mind, it would make me feel good if she did that. That's what was going on in my mind. Susan, hit me up. The Stay Fit, Stay Alive crew, we're going to meet him out there. We're going to jump him. And it's over for him.
Well... after, when you hear her in interviews and stuff.
I called us the Stay Fit, Stay Alive crew. What is wrong with me?
So when you hear her in interviews and stuff, she talks about the moment she found out that she actually killed this guy. And she, to be honest, she took it really hard because in her mind, obviously, she's like, I'm fighting, it's me or him. I'm fighting for my life. But the fact that this dude, Mike, my husband, put me in this position to have to take another person's life in order to save myself. Now she lived with the guilt of killing someone because she said, this person still has a family. They still have someone that loves them. And she is a nurse. Automatically,
he doesn't deserve any love. If they love him falsely. And if they love him knowing what he is, then they're pieces of shit too. And she should go over their house and beat their ass too and bite the shit out of them too.
Listen, after a while, a couple months, she got a letter from his family. And his family said that we completely understand why you killed him.
So they're not pieces of shit.
They're not. That's what I'm trying to tell you, but you started yelling. She got this letter saying that they are, so sorry for what their family member did to her and that they understand why she did what she did and that they have no malice or bad intentions or bad, vibes towards her. So it made her feel better, but she still felt bad for having to take someone's life. And she was angry at her ex-husband for putting her in that position and angry that he even would do something that horrific.
I wouldn't have been angry. You know what I would have did? Well, I would have been angry that I had to go through it. But I would have celebrated like Terrell Owens scoring a touchdown in the NFL. I would have had to dance over his dead body, and I would have TikToked the whole thing, even though I don't have a TikTok.
Well, I mean, that's where you guys are different, but...
And I would have said,
Susan
if you got any more, bring them.
Well, now Susan is a huge victim advocate. So she still stayed at, a nurse in the ER for a long time, but now she also works with all these victim advocacy groups. She goes and speaks at all these places.
And what she also does is what I heard. What she does is, if there's a victim, she shows up at the person's house. Like, you victimized them again, I'm smoking you. That's what she does now.
She does not.
Yes, she does. That's what I saw. It went viral somewhere.
You're so full of
In my mind, it went viral.
She does not do that, but she's a huge victim advocate.
So
she
shout out to Susan.
Yeah, she took her story
Gangsta.
and she turned it into a way to help other people.
Hashtag Susan the Gangster.
Susan the Gangster.
Best story we had so far. I love revenge, and not me, not today. She smothered the punch.
Yeah, she did everything right, honestly.
Literally, the only thing that I guess she did wrong, but she survived and she finished him, is she didn't completely finish him, and she ran towards the door so he was able to get up. If she would have finished him fast, but she's a compassionate person.
Yeah.
But had she not been a compassionate person, this story would have ended like, take
faster.
that, bitch, it's over.
Well, they, looking back from the timing, they did the timeline of like when police were investigating of like when she got home versus when she called 911. The fight lasted 14 minutes.
Damn, that's like a UFC fight.
That's a long fight.
She has stamina. In my mind, when you said it was like a gray-haired dude, I pictured like Rufus the Stunt Bum from Bum Fights, if anyone knows that.
I'll show you him. He looked like, just a regular guy with long gray hair. He doesn't look like a super bum or anything.
They went right over Jess's head. But if anyone knows Rufus the Stunt Bum, legend, R.I.P.
Well, being a 51-year-old woman.
Oh, she was 51?
Yes, 51.
Damn.
So don't mess with Susan. She is an OG.
That should be the name of the episode.
Don't mess with Susan.
Something like that. We always try to figure out what to name the episodes, or sometimes I just go to work and Jess figures it out. But the episodes that are named funny and cleverly, it's usually because I picked them.
Yeah, okay. Whatever. All right, well, that was our 60th episode and one of our best survival stories.
That was the dopest. Sorry if I clicked my pen a few times. I'm very fidgety. You can't give me a clicky pen. I did it during the episode. Someone count how many times I clicked it and say what's up.
No one can hear it. All right, everyone. Well, thanks for tuning in again this week. I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and we will talk to you soon.
Check us out on all the social medias. Wife of Crime Pod on Instagram. Facebook is the Wife of Crime fam. Patreon for mad extra content. TikTok for stuff that we're too old for. And that's it, I think. And anything else I forgot, hit me up and tell me what I should say next time.
All right. Have a good week, everyone.
Peace.
Bye.